Now, when I briefed you yesterday afternoon, we had resolved the initial outage with calls and data progressively returning to normal. Last night, we identified a subsequent issue that was impacting some calls, including 000, and the nature of this only became apparent as we resolved the original issue. In these cases, when calling 000, some people received an error message and then their phone would go and try to connect to an alternative mobile network, as it should. The issue was a consequence of the same software defect that I talked to you about yesterday. So while we addressed the original issue, that subsequent issue remained ongoing and needed to be addressed in a different way. Overnight, our teams made good progress, significantly reducing the occurrence of failed calls to 000, and we've now implemented a solution that has addressed the impact of this issue. Now, mobile networks are complex, and we will continue to work through further changes to ensure we have the most robust solution, but customers can feel confident in calling 000. Our backup systems and welfare check process remains in place, of course, and we have not needed to complete a welfare check since that solution was put in place. In total, though, we completed 639 welfare checks from the start of this outage. And let me talk you through the numbers again. 230 callers advised by SMS responded that no assistance was required. 402 cases required follow-up voice calls. Of those 402 cases, 170 calls were passed to the police for either further welfare check or assistance, and we had 7 callers advised that they needed assistance in total, and their details were referred to the relevant emergency services organisations at that time. I also spoke with Minister Wells again earlier today and provided a full update on the issue to her. I'd also like to talk about the organisations that rely on our network and those that experienced disruptions yesterday. While the broader outage was resolved yesterday, we continued to work closely with a small number of enterprise customers on residual flow and impacts in their services. This includes the Australian Rail Track Corporation, or ARTC. We'll keep working with our customers until every remaining issue is resolved and as they complete all restoration and verification processes that they need to complete. I want to again apologise for the disruption these issues have caused to our customers and to the broader community. We know how important it is to stay connected, and we take this responsibility very seriously. Our teams are working as quickly as possible to resolve any remaining issues with all customers. I also want to say thank you for your patience and understanding as we've worked to resolve this. We do not take that for granted. Thank you. And questions?
At the moment, where exactly is she at the moment, and is she making her way back home?
She is overseas with her family, and she is making her way back home, and she'll be on deck tomorrow.
Why wasn't she on the first plane back as soon as we heard about this outage yesterday morning?
She got on the first plane that she could get onto to get back. She came back immediately, changed her plans, and got back here as soon. She'll be back here as soon as she possibly could.
And will she be providing a press conference then? Can you expect what time frame it might be before she herself addresses the media?
Well, we'll update media on that in terms of when Vicky may or may not talk to the media tomorrow or next week. But I would expect that she will want to get up to speed. I have been in regular contact with her, as has many members of the team, and I'll be in contact with her again tonight, and we'll update when.
So she'll be back tonight?
She'll be back on deck tomorrow morning.
So you've confirmed more than 600 welfare checks conducted by Telstra, but how many calls to 000 didn't actually go through or still haven't gone through as a result of the outage? More than 600?
So we did 639 welfare checks, which is where we see there's a failed call. Now that's out of 33,000 calls that were successfully connected through the course of the day, and we're working through those welfare checks. There is still 170 that are with the police, and now once we hand those to police, it is for them to comment and update on anything that's occurred there.
So more than 600 calls didn't go through to 000 using the Telstra network. Would you describe that as a failure of emergency services?
Any one call is unacceptable, one missed call, which is why we have the welfare check process in place, so that we are as rapidly as possible following up with people whenever there is a failed call.
South Australian Senator Little had said that she had received reports to her office that there had been a death caused by the outage from Telstra. Have you received any reports of that nature? Can you confirm if that information was true that she was provided?
So I've seen the media reports as well, and I'd refer to you the comments from the South Australian Police. It's in their hands.
Received nothing different to police then?
No, I am not aware of anything other than what the police have said.
Just on the cause of the outage, can you potentially sort of confirm whether it set the clocks back to November 2006, and can you maybe run us through why it's so important for a mobile network to have sort of these time servers that are telling the rest of the network what the time is?
Yeah, well, it's really about synchronising and authenticating that one part of the network knows what the other part of the network is doing, and the time is an important part of that. Otherwise, you could have messages or instructions that are from a different time period then being authenticated on the network. So it's part of the authentication process that allows the network to do something.
Is this essentially...
2006.
Sorry?
And it was saying November 2006. That was what the update pushed out to the rest of the network.
Yes, I believe that's true at one point, yes.
Is this essentially Telstra's version of Y2K?
I wouldn't say it's a Y2K issue. I think it's not the same as that. What happened was there was a glitch in the software that reset the GPS timer. So it's not so much that the time clicked...
This went back 20 years in time.
Yeah, it's not so much that it clicked over and was unable to deal with the format of the time, which was the concern during Y2K. It was a software glitch that caused the time to click back. There's a specific reason that we can cover with more technical details about why it went back to that particular time. I think it's the way the number works.
Was it specifically 20 years to the date, or...?
No.
What other investigations will you guys be doing following this to understand further those root causes of the problems to ensure it doesn't happen again?
Yeah, we will do a full root cause analysis, and that process will start immediately. I mean, it's underway already, but we're focused right now on restoring services, and then we'll work through working with our vendors, working with partners, working with external support, as well as our own teams to understand what has happened.
Do you think you should have...
Fragile, given that a glitch caused this much chaos? Is it a fragile system?
I would say it's a complex system. I think it's robust. There is a lot of redundancy, but this was an unfortunate incident.
Michael, you detected the fault at 4:30 a.m, but the Communications Minister's office wasn't told until about 7 a.m, after you posted online and briefed reporters. Annika Wells says she should have heard earlier. Did Telstra meet its real-time reporting obligations to ACMA and the emergency services, and why did media potentially come before the Minister?
So we will always communicate with customers first when we see that there is an issue, and there are certain thresholds in terms of when our obligations are to communicate with everyone. As soon as the incident reached that threshold, we communicated within minutes to the Minister.
Do you think you got it wrong yesterday when initially you thought there was only a few thousand people that were impacted? Obviously it was larger scale than that.
It was absolutely an evolving situation. I think we were clear about that yesterday morning, that we communicated what we knew. We communicated that we would continue to investigate, and we would continue to be thorough and curious and go down every avenue, but absolutely the situation evolved as the day went ahead.
You said yesterday morning that you had heard reports of 000 issues, but that you didn't believe it was really the major problem. Obviously now that's a very different situation, right?
So what we thought yesterday morning, and what we continue to believe, is that the issue that impacted 000 was different in nature to the way that the issue had manifest in the other calls. So we saw the intermittent calls, intermittent call and data sessions be impacted early. As we said yesterday morning, we were seeing an uptick in welfare checks, and we talked to that, but our initial analysis of the root cause was that that wouldn't have caused the 000 issue. We continued to investigate, as we said, and then we found those subsequent issues, and then as we said, even after the briefing last night, there was a further subsequent issue which we now believe we have addressed.
So we've had Optus have a fatal 000 outage. We now have Telstra have a 000 issue. Can Australians have faith in private companies to look after them during their biggest hour of need?
I think customers can trust the 000 system. It is a very robust system. No system is completely immune from impacts and outage. We take this obligation incredibly seriously. We invest heavily in the resilience and the redundancy of our system. It is unacceptable what has happened. and our focus is on how we have addressed it through our processes through the welfare calls, and following up with customers as quickly as we can, and also in addressing the issue as quickly as we can.
Requirement that you provide this system, and it also is a legal requirement that you provide those welfare checks, right? So what
That is our
Telstra-
obligation, yes.
What is Telstra doing above and beyond that to rectify this pretty grave situation?
So we've been focused on rectifying the issue, as we've talked about, and we believe we've addressed those issues. We will continue to investigate, continue to dig deeper, continue to go down all avenues to ensure that we're doing everything that we can to make sure that our system is as robust and reliable as possible.
Obviously, a
Was
lot
the
of
second fault
regional.
a continuation of the first fault?
So the second fault, the nature of that fault didn't become apparent until we had resolved the first issue in terms of doing the time reset. But our initial thought is that it was impacted and was driven by the same time synchronisation issue.
What's been your advice, or how have you been communicating with Victorian Transport? Obviously, a lot of regional commuters have been stuck out in the regions, unable to get home because of the V-line shutdown. What time frame can we expect there to get all those services back up and running that back?
So we've been working very closely with ARTC. I was on numerous calls with their teams last night and into the evening. They have communicated this morning, ARTC has, as well as V-line. I'd refer you to their comments around the timing of their services returning.
Do they need to have better contingencies in place if something like a Telstra system goes down that means all their systems go offline?
I would refer you to them to respond to any of those issues. We've been working hard with them to make sure that we're getting things back up and running as quickly as possible from our perspective.
Telling customers yesterday to turn their phones off and back on.
Yes.
Did that actually do anything to fix it, or is it a coincidence that some people turned it off and back on? Was it just a ploy to get them to do something to make them feel like they were trying to get their phones working? Did it actually do anything?
It absolutely did. For most customers, that meant that their phone re-registered with the network and worked immediately after that. So no, that wasn't a ploy to do anything other than get customers up and running and connected as soon as possible.
People be compensated?
We'll work through compensation as part of our BAU process, and we'll communicate with customers around that.
Why did this happen now? Like, was there an upgrade in progress? I mean, why now? Why did this all of a sudden happen?
That's always a good question. We will work through that as part of our investigation, and we'll come back with details on exactly what had occurred.
The end of 3G or the transfer from any of those services, the software issues?
It is not, to my understanding, linked to anything to do with the 3G.
Do you think your business customers should potentially have redundancy with like Optus or Vodafone, just in case your network is not as reliable and they need to be able to communicate with people? Is that what you're telling your customers about?
Well, we build significant diversity and redundancy into our platforms, but as I said, no system is perfect. They're complex systems, and diversity and redundancy is always important.
Thanks, guys, for that. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.